They can take everything from you. Your job, your reputation, the people you love, the future you planned. History is full of men who lost all of it, and still won. Not because they were stronger, not because luck turned, because they had something that cannot be seized, confiscated, or broken from the outside. The Stoics called it the Inner Citadel, and once you understand what it actually is, not the bumper sticker version, but the real thing, you will never look at your own mind the same way again. You have been guarding the wrong territory your entire life. This is about what you should have been guarding instead. Around 50 AD, a boy was born into slavery in Hierapolis. His name was Epictetus. His master once twisted his leg as a demonstration of power, a performance of ownership. Epictetus said calmly, "If you continue, you will break it." The master continued. The leg broke. Epictetus said, "Did I not tell you?" No rage, no pleading, no collapse. What does a man have when he has nothing? When his body is owned, his labor is owned, his movements are owned. What remains? Epictetus spent his life answering that question, and the answer became the architecture of a philosophy later carried into the palace of the most powerful man on earth, the Emperor Marcus Aurelius. Philosopher Pierre Hadot called it the Inner Citadel, a fortress of pure judgment, the last sovereign territory no one else can enter. This is what it is made of, and how you build yours. Law 1. There are two categories of things. Learn them or suffer endlessly. Epictetus opens his entire philosophy with a single, brutal division. Some things are up to us, some things are not. Up to us, judgment, desire, the lens through which you interpret what happens. Not up to us. Your body's health, other people's opinions, outcomes, time, simple, clean. And almost no one actually lives by it. Because here is what you do instead. You spend your energy trying to control the second category and neglect the first entirely. You manage your reputation instead of your character. You chase certainty about outcomes instead of clarity about your own response. The Inner Citadel is built on this single distinction. Every brick is a moment where you asked, "Is this mine to control?" and answered honestly. Stop building outside the walls. Start building within them. But this distinction alone is not enough. Because there is a mistake almost everyone makes when they first encounter it. Law 2. The citadel is not indifference. It is precision. Most people misread Epictetus here, and the philosophy becomes dangerous if handled wrong. They hear some things are not up to you and conclude, care about nothing. That is not the teaching. That is its corruption. Marcus Aurelius cared deeply. He wrote about grief with brutal honesty in the private pages of his Meditations, a journal he never intended anyone to read. But he refused to let grief become the governor. Feel it, let it exist, and then choose your response. Pierre Hadot made an argument most scholars missed. Stoic practice is not emotional amputation. It is what he called the discipline of assent, the razor-thin pause between what happens to you and what you do about it. In that pause lives your sovereignty. You are not building a wall against feeling. You are building a throne inside your own mind. And the next law is about what sits on that throne. Law 3. Your judgment is the only thing you will ever truly own. Epictetus taught in a small schoolroom after he was freed from slavery. He had no books, no charts. He talked. Students wrote it down. And one thing he returned to again and again, no one can make you think something. They can pressure you. They can imprison your body and flood your environment with noise. But the moment of judgment, the instant your mind assigns meaning to what is happening. That belongs to you, always, without exception. Now think about your own life. Someone criticizes you. Your nervous system fires. Your words come out defensive or wounded. What just happened? You gave your judgment away, for free, in under 2 seconds. The Citadel was left unguarded. The practice Epictetus demanded was simple, but relentless. Intercept the automatic. Catch the moment between stimulus and response. Ask, is this the judgment I choose or the one handed to me by instinct and old fear? Own that moment, and you own yourself. Law 4. Freedom is practiced daily in small fires. There is a fantasy of freedom that looks like one dramatic moment. The prisoner walks out, the man finally speaks his truth. Epictetus had no patience for that fantasy, because he knew, from experience, not theory, that freedom is a muscle, not a gift, and muscles atrophy. Every day you react without choosing, the Citadel loses a stone. Every time you perform an emotion for an audience instead of actually deciding, you practice captivity. Here is the drill he gave his students. At the end of each day, ask 3 questions. What happened today that I could not control? And did I waste energy trying? What judgment did I make automatically that I should have chosen deliberately? Where did I guard the Citadel well? And where did I leave the gate open? This is not self-punishment. It is maintenance. A citadel unexamined is a citadel crumbling from the inside. Law 5. The Citadel is tested by people, not philosophy. It is easy to feel grounded when you are alone, reading, reflecting, thinking clearly in the quiet. And then someone you trust betrays you, and you discover very quickly how much of the philosophy was performance and how much was structure. Marcus Aurelius was surrounded by people who flattered him and schemed behind his back. He wrote privately about the pull of anger. He did not pretend he did not feel it, but he returned again and again to one question. What is this person? A creature of the same nature as me, struggling, limited, afraid. Not sympathy that excused the behavior, clarity that dissolved the reactive wound. Because the moment someone else's behavior controls your inner state, they have entered the Citadel. You let them in. The question is never, how do I stop people from trying? They will always try. The question is, how solid are your gates? Now here is the turn. Everything this video has built, the distinction, the practice, the discipline, the gates, points to something Pierre Hadot made explicit in his reading of Marcus Aurelius. The inner citadel is not a destination. It is not something you reach and then possess forever. It is a practice renewed every single day, in every single circumstance. And the renewal itself is the freedom. The man who chooses his judgment before the world chooses it for him. That man is free. Not free from difficulty. Free within it. Not free from loss. Free inside it. The Citadel is not protection from life. It is the capacity to live fully, clearly, and sovereignly inside whatever life brings. Epictetus lived it in chains. Marcus lived it on a throne. The condition was irrelevant. The Citadel was the same. So here is what you do with this. Not tomorrow. Today. Find one moment, just one, where something external is pulling at your inner state right now. A worry, a grievance, an outcome you cannot control. And ask, with complete honesty, is this mine to control or mine only to respond to? If it is the second, and it usually is, close the gate. Not with coldness, with sovereignty. You are not powerless because you cannot control what happens. You are powerful because you control what it means and what you do next. Epictetus had a broken leg and no possessions, and no one, in his entire life, ever conquered his mind. The citadel holds if you build it.